Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a proud production of PSJA ISD KTRI. We are here in beautiful Cow Allen and Corpus Christi in the Coastal Bend area. And of course, why are we here? It is Game 3 of Region 4 6A Division 2 baseball. It is your very own PSJA High Bears here for the second straight year. And lo and behold, well, they're playing the same exact team from last year. The Dripping Springs Tigers. Last year it went to 3 games. Dripping Springs won that third and deciding game here on this exact same field, 4-2. This year, PSJA High won game 1, 6-1. Had a rough go last night though. Got beat up pretty good, 11-0 over in Beeville. So we're back here at Cow Allen Baseball Field. 3-time state champions here at Cow Allen. So beautiful ballpark, great facilities, and now we have the rubber game, the matchup. The game that will decide your Region 4 6A Division 2 champions. The winner will go to the state semifinals to face Houston Memorial. And that Houston Memorial team is a very good team. But first things first, these are two good baseball teams. PSJA High, of course, your District 31 6A champions. Dripping Springs representing District 26 6A as the champions in the playoffs in Division 2, but of course they finished in second place in their district. They were runner-ups. They lost to Lake Travis. Lake Travis were the 26 6A district champions. Dripping Springs got second. Austin Westlake got third. So you know this is a good ball club. PSJA High beat Austin Westlake last week in three games. And we're about set to get underway. Of course, I'm Javi Martinez bringing you the play-by-play action. With me is Mark Vasquez, a producer, and of course, Edgar Hernandez. So it's a 3-man crew, audio only, obviously. Rights are not given by UIL for us to stream the game live, but we are here for you. And it should be an absolute beautiful day for baseball. We got a lot of rain showers in the morning. No delay though. We're going to get set to play here. And the first pitch to start off the ball game is taken upstairs. So PSJA High wearing their maroon tops, white bottoms. Dripping Springs all white with maroon lettering and maroon caps. The hitter, the center fielder James Cancino. TJ Ayala. Of course, on the hill is the lefty. Good throw right there across the plate for strike one. So that evens up the count. That's Nixon Badia. The catcher's Kobe Wilson. The first baseman is Bobby Wilkinson. Braylon Medley at second. Jake Pardue, the third baseman. Eli Lemmer, the shortstop. And a swing and a miss by Cancino. So Cancino has faced 3 pitches. He's down on the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Running out the outfield, it's Kate Sanders, Sam Brannion, and Anthony Delgado for Dripping Springs. Of course, they are the home team today. The 1-2 delivery is swung on. It's not to the first baseman. That is trouble. Cancino is going to not win the battle. I thought he had a great chance, but the speedy Nixon Baldia beats him through to the bag. Of course, that was a little dribbler to the first baseman, Bobby Wilkinson. Wilkinson tosses it over to Badia. After that, it was a foot race, but Badia wins that race. So it's 3-1, 1 out. That retires Cancino. Brings up the hitter, TJ Ayala, the shortstop. Ayala's been on a tear. Hit a home run in Game 3, deciding Game 3 last week in San Antonio against Austin Westlake. First pitch, upstairs for a ball. And of course, talking to Coach Wajadlo earlier before the game, he said the key from yesterday's take after they got beat was they were not swinging at strikes. They were chasing balls out of the strike zone, not sitting on the fastball. And well, on that one, Ayala sits on the fastball but comes up empty. A letter high fastball. Couldn't catch up to it. I'll tell you what, this pitcher right here has some good velocity. Nixon Badia. Badia from the stretch to Ayala. And that is going to be upstairs for ball number 2. 2 balls and a strike to the second hitter in the lineup. Of course, on deck is the ever dangerous JT Reina. The foul ball, 2 balls and 2 strikes now. So the pitcher gets a first batter on a slow ground ball to the first baseman, now facing the second batter of the inning. And we'll see what he does here on the 2-2 with one out, nobody on. Low in the dirt, 79-mile-an-hour curveball. That makes it a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Of course, I want to thank my good buddy, JJ Ayala, who is actually TJ's dad. And he was kind enough to lend me his Pocket Radar, Smart Coach Pocket Radar. Really handy device here. Small, fits in your hand, can pick up the speed of the pitcher with a click of a button. Whoa, so Ayala was trotting to first base, thought he had gotten a ball 4, but instead it's a backwards K for out number 2. So Badia picks up his first strikeout, and there's a contrast. The fastball was 86 miles an hour where the curveball was 79, so good difference in speed. Ayala didn't think it was a strike, but the umpire thought otherwise. That's out number 2. Next hitter is JT Reyna, the leading hitter for PSGA High. He's been on a tear. He's hit the ball extremely well throughout the season, and he's been very clutch in the playoffs. Of course, now he's hitting here with 2 outs and nobody on. In the first, again, a curveball taken low, a ball and a strike. Catcher looks back, asks the umpire, where was it? And it was pretty much low and in. Ball and a strike. Reyna stands tall in the batter's box, the right-handed hitter against the lefty. Swung on and missed, an 85-mile-an-hour fastball that had some giddy up on it. High heater at the letters. Reyna couldn't barrel that up. Didn't swing late though, just quite simply missed it. A ball and 2 strikes with 2 outs. PSGA High trying to get their first base runner on, and of course, Badia, the pitcher, trying to get his team back in the dugout. Upstairs curveball, that's the hardest he's thrown this evening. He really let that one go. That's 87 miles an hour, folks, from a lefty. That's tremendous speed. So we'll do the 2-2 again. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Deuces are wild here in the top of the first. Beautiful Cal Allen, Wildcat Stadium. Swung on and missed. So the pitcher, Badia, gets a weak ground ball for out number 1. Then he strikes out the next 2 batters. One looking, one swinging. So no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. So we're going to head into the home half of the first inning. It'll be Dripping Springs coming up to bat. And, of course, PSGA High will combat that with Gael Zambrano, the pitcher. Was a winning pitcher in Game 3 last week. And, of course, this is the 3rd week in a row that PSGA High goes into Game 3. They beat Church Clements a couple of weeks ago, Austin Westlake last week. So can they do it again on a beautiful Saturday afternoon? Gael Zambrano will be the pitcher, Zeke Perez the catcher, JT Reyna at first, Nathan Peña at second. The third baseman will be Ethan Olivares, JJ Ayala, the shortstop. In left field, JD Sauceda, James Cancino in center, and Matthew Aswada in right. So it's a fine defensive infield. Peña can pick it at second. Ayala has a very strong arm at short. Olivares is as steady as any third baseman you'll find. And, of course, JT Reyna, I'll tell you what, if you've never seen him play, unfortunately you can't today because we're only streaming this on audio, but he can stretch out at first. He gives every benefit of the doubt to the throw from the infielders to make sure that umpire calls the base runner or the hitter out. And, of course, Gael Zambrano, tall, lanky, right-handed pitcher. Got a very good arm, good fastball, even a better curveball. That's what keeps the hitters off stride. And, of course, Zeke Perez, a very good defensive catcher, a strong arm, tough to run on him. So that'll be your defense. And, of course, the first 3 hitters for Dripping Springs will be Sam Branyan, Jake Pardue, and then Braden Medley. So that's your first 3 hitters in the lineup for Dripping Springs. And as we are set to get the bottom of the first underway, I think Zambrano has maybe 1 or 2 more tosses. Yes, exactly 2 more throws before we get started. Of course, a 4-man umpiring crew, and I think they split it. I think 2 of them were handpicked by Coach Guajardo at PSGA High, and the other 2 from the head coach at Dripping Springs. So here we go. Zeke Perez tosses it over to second, and We are set to get underway here in the bottom of the first. PG High went up to bat very quietly in the first. A ground ball to the first baseman. 2 strikeouts, and quickly back to the batter's box are the Dripping Strings Tigers. Of course, they won last night 11-0 in convincing fashion. They hit a grand slam to win the game to make it a 10-run rule. It was a tight game, and then they just got away from it from the Bears, and PG High, of course, won game 1. First pitch, bottom of the first, it's a curveball over for a strike to the center fielder, Sam Branyan. Swung on, ball tipped right into catcher Smith's glove, so quickly in the hole is the hitter. No balls and 2 strikes, so Zambrano, as he did last week, fearless, just stares down the hitter, looks for the pitch, and fires. Very aggressive pitcher. Pitch is made, but low. A ball and 2 strikes. Some of the home fans here, actually were the visitors this evening, didn't like that. Already some heckling of the umpire. Gotta love the PGA faithful. The pitch. It's hit to the second baseman, Nathan Peña, over to JT Reina. Easy pickings for the second baseman right there, sure-handed glove. 1 out. So the batter will be now Jake Pardue. He's the third baseman. On deck is Braden Medley, the second baseman. So 1 out. Neither team so far, we've seen 4 hitters, 3 for PG High, 1 for Dripping Strings. No one has gotten it out of the infield. No one has hit it hard yet. And that's what we're going to see today. Good pitching. 71-mile-an-hour curveball on the left-handed hitter, Pardue. Pardue backs up. He didn't like it, but that was a pretty pitch that caught the inside corner of the plate. Nice selection. Great target right there by Zeke Bettis, the catcher. The fastball misses low and away. So we're starting to see a sequence here on the first 2 hitters with Zambrano. He likes to start with an off-speed pitch, thinking the hitters are in attack mode. Likes to change it up. The offering is going to be low again, so 2 balls and a strike on the number 2 hitter for Dripping Strings, Jake Pardue. And of course, it's a beautiful overcast day. The sunshine comes out every once in a while. Beautiful ballpark. 315 down the lines, 385 in the power alleys, and a high wall at center field. The wind seems to be blowing in a little bit from the scoreboard. And of course, the American and Texas flags are hanging right over it. Inside pitch, and that'll be ball 4. So Pardue will be the first runner on base for either club. So Dripping Strings will have a runner on first with only 1 out. Medley Braden comes up. The second baseman on deck is the right fielder, Anthony Delgado. So first base runner, Zambrano, now from the stretch, looking over at first base. Modest lead at first base for Pardue, but he's a third baseman. Curveball. And again, for the 3rd straight hitter, Zambrano has started every hitter so far with a curveball. And then he's followed it up with a fastball. So let's see Medley here, the 3 hitter in the lineup, is ready for that fastball. It's a lively one, though, from Zambrano. Well, you throw him another curveball. He says, you know what? I'll keep throwing curveballs until you can hit them. And right now, Dripping Strings hitters have not solved the riddle of that curveball. Of course, Zambrano did issue out a walk. Zambrano steps off momentarily, regathers himself, runner on first. Again, not much of a lead. I don't think he's a threat to steal. Curveball at 69 miles an hour. So Zambrano really taking something off on that one, and that just goes foul to the right side. So Zambrano ahead of the count, a ball and 2 strikes with 1 out. Bottom of the first, folks. Game 3. Region 4 6A Division II Championship. The pitch. Curveball. A good job by Medley, the hitter. Defensive swing on that one. It was a curveball sweeping from the middle part of the plate towards the outer portion of the plate, and he just quite simply threw the bat at it, tried to stay alive. Looked too close to take. So we'll do it again. 1-2. Zambrano shakes off the pitch. Looks over to first at the runner. Runner not going. Fastball. It swung on. Hit hard to right field. Aswada backpedals. Catches it near the line for out number 2. No tag is made. So Medellin hit it pretty solid. But right at the right fielder, Matthew Aswada, for out number 2. Runner holds at first. That's Jake Pardue. Of course, he reached via a walk. So now that'll be 2 down with the runner first. The cleanup hitter, the right fielder, Anthony Delgado, comes up to bat. And now we have 2 outs, and we're starting to hear a little bit of noise, a little bit of chanting here from the PSJA faithful. And I tell you what, they come out in droves, folks. It's a great fan support. More for the PSJA High than the Dripping Springs Tigers, that's for sure. So Zambrano, first, well, no, he's going to say, you know what, let me look at the runner at first. No throw, but the runner dives back safely. Zambrano keeping the runner at first honest. The pitch is made, and once again a curveball at 76 miles an hour, but he misses. And as we said, the sequence has been, he throws a curveball to start every hitter, and he'll probably throw a curveball again just to get ahead of the count. We'll see what happens here. And it's another curveball. It is lifted high to J.D. Salceda. Salceda catches that can of corn rather easily. So Zambrano gives up a walk, but nothing more after that. Zambrano does a great job in the first inning. Dripping Springs, no runs, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left on base. So game 3, inning number 1 is in the books. We are scoreless, and we'll head back for the second inning.
Hello, PSJA team. Our district works hard every day to protect our students and ensure the safety of everyone on campus. Your role as teachers and staff is just as important. We rely on you to monitor your surroundings, stay observant, and report anything unusual or concerning immediately. Your partnership is essential in maintaining a safe environment. In the event of an emergency, know that we have protocols in place to address it. The most important things you can do are remain calm, follow our safety procedures, and stay informed through official PSJA updates. Panicking and spreading rumors or unverified information only creates confusion and can hinder emergency response efforts. Sharing false information, whether intentionally or unintentionally, can also have serious consequences. Trust the process, avoid sharing unverified information, and keep open lines of communications with your colleagues and leadership. Together we can ensure the safety and well-being of our students and staff.
Here we go, folks. Welcome back to the top of the second inning, a proud production of KTRI, sponsored by PSJA ISD, of course. And we are in Calallen Wildcat Baseball Park, where it's Game 3 of a Region 4 6A Division II matchup. The winner heads to the state semifinals. And, of course, Game 1 was won by PSJA High. Game 2 went to Dripping Springs. Who will win the deciding game? Of course, these 2 teams met last year on this exact same field on a Saturday. Dripping Springs took that one 4-2. So a little bit of revenge on the minds of the PSJA High Bears today. Of course, we're going to get the top of the second started. The Bears, the visiting team, with the hitter Jesse Garza, the DH, followed by the catcher Z Garza, and then the right fielder Matthew Aswada. First pitch from the lefty Nixon Badia is swung on, fouled off to the third base side. So Badia, easy work in the first inning, a ground out, and then 2 strikeouts. The lefty-lefty matchup. The hard fastball outside, 83 miles an hour, so Badia can bring it. Got good velocity. The highest he's thrown so far right now is 87. Badia pitching out of the stretch. Curveball. Taken low. 2 balls and a strike. So Jesse Garza, the junior. Of course, last year he was a fine third baseman and pitcher. He was the ace pitcher last year for PSJA High. Takes an 85 mile an hour fastball low and in, so that makes the count 3-1. Jesse Garza ran into some arm problems, had to get some surgery done, and he's been the DH throughout the season. But he's only a junior, so he'll be back stronger than ever next year. The pitch taken away, so Great vision by Garza. So PSJ High has their first runner on base here in the top of the second. Still looking for the first base hit, though, but at the very least they have a runner on base via a walk. So it brings up the catcher, Zeke Garza. Matthew Swada on deck now. Garza has got some good speed. Not a burner, but he can get around the bases very quickly. Garza, of course, is about 6'2". Long legs, has a long stride, so he can motor around the bases if need be. And, of course, the hitter is Zeke Garza. And, again, it'll be another lefty-on-lefty matchup. In fact, the next three hitters with Garza, Jesse, Zeke, and then Matthew, they're all left-handed hitters. So it'll be three hitters in a row for PSJ High that are left-handed. A bunt attempt. It's a drag bunt. It's a good one. And it just rolls foul. The pitcher, Badia, thought about picking that up as a ball landed and just squirmed out of play, out of the passive foul line for strike one. And I'll tell you what, folks, if that stays in play, that's an infield hit. So Zeke Garza, the catcher, that's your prototypical catcher, though. He's got speed. He's a strong young man, runs hard. Yeah, well, Garza now throwing away his, I'm not going to say a credit card. He reached into his back pocket. He threw something. I'm sure it was just the pitch count or pitch sequence, but people were looking like, man, is he just throwing money around? So Garza awaits the 1-1. The 0-1, takes it outside. That'll make it 1-1. So Garza, first pitch, wasn't thinking sacrifice bunt. He was thinking base hit, drag bunt with Jesse Garza at first. And second pitch, he does not offer. Got a curveball. So I don't think he's bunting. I think he's swinging away. Well, they're going to check the runner at first. I think Dripping Springs is thinking that a possible hit and run is in effect here. The third baseman for Dripping Springs is playing way in up on the grass. First baseman, of course, covering the bag. Middle infielders playing double play depth. Outfield straight away, not too deep, not much of wind, and if there is any wind, it's blowing in. Garza awaits. He looks like he wanted to put it down, a bunt, but instead he takes an 84-mile-an-hour fastball on the outer portion of the plate, so the count will be a ball and 2 strikes now on Zeke Garza with a run on first, nobody out. Top of the second, folks. PSJ High for the first time gets a runner on base. Can they manufacture a run? Can they do something with this? Curveball, and Garza, the catcher that he is, he's a tough guy. He gets plunked in the arm by the pitcher on a curveball, and Garza did not move. He didn't flinch at all, folks. He just turned and said, you know what? I'll get a free pass. I'll move Jesse to second. So PSJ High now here in the top of the second making some noise. They have runners at first and second, no outs, a walk, and a hit batsman. So PSJ High still looking for the first hit. That'd be a great opportunity for Matthew Aswada on deck as Ethan Olivares. There's a third batter in a row. The lefty Badia faces. That's a lefty, so maybe that's throwing him off a bit. First 3 hitters were right-handed hitters for PSJ High, and he took care of them rather quickly. So the lefty out of the stretch. 84-mile-an-hour fastball was a bunt attempt by Aswada. He comes up empty, though. And again, the third baseman is charging hard. Usually you'll see the first baseman charge in this situation, but they got the wheel route going, meaning the third baseman is charging hard and the shortstop will cover third base. The second baseman will have second, and of course the pitcher has the responsibility of covering a bunt down the first base foul line. So it'll be 0-1, first and second. This time the third baseman is holding back. They're going to not bunt it, and the ball gets loose, folks. It bounces all the way to the backstop, all the way to the home team's on deck circle. That means Jesse Garza trots over to third. The courtesy runner for Zeke Garza gets to second. So PSJ High, without a hit, they have runners in scoring position. In fact, they have 2. As people like to say, 2 ducks on the pond right here. Can they drive them home? Second and third with nobody out. Aswada ahead of the count as well. Well, it's actually 1-1 with 1 out, with nobody out here in the top of the second. The pitch. Check swing. They say no. They check home plate umpire. Checks to the third base umpire. And of course, it's a four-man crew. Umpire says no, he did not go. Azuara ahead of the count now. 2 balls and a strike. Azuara's got speed. He can motor. He's a defensive back on the football team, so he's got speed. He's a tough guy. Let's see what he can do. The infield is completely drawn in. Everybody's playing right at the edge of the grass. Swung on and missed on a curveball. Azuara, right shoulder hit. I mean, he was looking at the right field foul line. He was looking how far he was going to hit that one. But instead, the pitcher pulls the string, 70-mile-an-hour curveball. Azuara misses it by quite a bit. So that'll even up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes with runners at second and third. Nobody out. Top of the second, folks. High drama already here in the second. Winner take all game. Game 3. Region 4 6A Division 2 matchup. PSJ High trying to avenge last year's loss. Outside fastball clocked at 85, but Azuara watches it still for a ball. And the home plate umpire, Azuara, likes to step back and get an opportunity to catch his breath, and the home plate umpire says, come on, son, get back in there. So taking charge as the home plate umpire. Full count, the payoff pitch upcoming from Badia. Badia fires. It's hit high into center field. Is it going to be deep enough? Center fielder camps under it. Brayson throws quickly, and nope. The challenge is not made. Azuara hit it solid, but not deep enough to the center fielder for out number 1, meaning Jesse Garza doesn't get to tag up and score, so Jesse Garza will remain at third. The courtesy runner for Zeke Garza remains at second base. And now we're going to have a bit of a conference with the pitching coach coming out to check on his pitcher. A little backstory on the pitcher from yesterday. Nixon Badia, he's normally an outfielder for Dripping Springs, but the coach said that he was sick. He had strep throat yesterday, so maybe he's still a little bit under the weather. Of course, it's an overcast day. It's not hot. But again, you know, here being in the Coastal Bend area near the water, near the bay, it's humid. There is humidity out there, so maybe he's tiring a bit. And, of course, in the first inning, he looked awesome. 3 up, 3 down. But here in the second inning, he's laboring. He's thrown a lot of pitches already. And he hit a batter. He walked a batter. He threw a wild pitch. That's how PSJ High has runners at second and third with 1 out. And, well, that gives Marco Alejandro an opportunity to talk to his third baseman, Ethan Olivares, who's going to step up to the plate. And we start hearing the chant, let's go Bears. And let's see if the Bears can do something here. So, Olivares steps up to bat. Badia, the pitcher, after a conference with his coach, looks to deliver the first pitch here with 1 out. It's a high ball to the right fielder. He'll catch it. The throw is going to be offline, but not deep enough again. So Olivares, just like Azuara, hits it to the outfield. You think, well, I got to get it to the outfield for a sac fly, but to be honest, the outfielders, Sam Branyan in center and Anthony Delgado in right, they have rocket arms, and they throw those balls in quickly, not allowing the base runners to advance. So we had second and third with nobody out. Now we have second and third with 2 outs. It comes out to Gael Zambrano, the pitcher. Can he help himself out here? He'd love to do that, give his team a lead. Zambrano takes the first pitch and swings, but comes up empty. Just a simple fastball, got it by Zambrano. Zambrano took a big hack. And again, it's going to be tough to get one out of here, folks. The wind, if anything, is blowing in maybe 5 miles an hour, maybe not even that. So it's a dead still ballpark. It's going to take power to get it out. 85-mile-an-hour fastball catches the outer portion of the plate. So quickly ahead of the count is a pitcher, Badia, and whatever his coach told him has worked. Because Badia looks a lot sharper now. Maybe he just needed that extra breather. Zambrano is going to dig deep here with an 0-2 count and 2 outs and two runners in scoring position. The pitch, 86 miles an hour, but just misses on the outer portion. A great pitch on an 0-2 count, trying to get the hitter Zambrano to chase. Zambrano does not take the bait. It'll be a ball and 2 strikes now. So where it gets interesting, can Zambrano get something he can handle? He does not. He goes for the high heater. Zambrano goes down swinging. What looked like a very promising inning. The Bears had 2 runners on base. In fact, they had him at second and third. But no runs, no hits, no errors. 2 runners left on base as we're going to head into the home half of the second inning. And again, good credit right there to Nixon Badia. He got himself in trouble. He hit the first batter, Jesse Garza, and then he walked the first batter, Jesse Garza, and then he hit the second hitter, Zeke Garza. And then a wild pitch later, PG High found themselves with runners at second and third, but 2 pop-ups, not deep enough in the outfield, could not drive in a run. A strikeout of Zambrano to end the inning. So we're going to head into the bottom of the second, folks. It'll be Dripping Springs coming up to bat. It'll be Cruz McBride, the DH, Kobe Wilson, the catcher, and then Bobby Wilkinson, the first baseman. Of course, Gael Zambrano on the mound. He had a good inning. He walked a batter in the first, but retired the other hitters on a ground ball and 2 pop-ups. So nothing was hit hard of Zambrano in the bottom of the first. Now we're heading into the bottom of the second. Of course, these 2 teams are no strangers to each other. They met here in the same matchup in the Region 4 6A Division II Championship. And this is the very same park, folks. And, just like last year, Dripping Springs lost game 1. PG High won game 1. And just like last year, Dripping Springs beat PG High in the second game. Last year, Dripping Springs took the game 3, the deciding factor to head to the state semifinals, where they lost. But nonetheless, they advanced as Region 4 6A Division II champions. PG High is trying to reverse those outcomes. They are the ones that are trying to get to the state semifinals for the first time. And of course, this is the second time ever PG High gets to the 6A regional finals. They did it last year. Last year was the first time they did it. Well, they're back again. They got a good team. I thought they lost several good players from last year, including Jacob Delgadillo and their shortstop, Sebastian Plasencia. But nonetheless, Coach Guajardo and his coaching staff have done a great job. They put together a heck of a team, a good rotation, and quality hitters. And, well, that's why they find themselves again here in the regional championship. The first pitch to start the bottom of the second inning is low and inside. So Zambrano quickly back up to work, facing McBride. Fastball, and that is hit high in the air. Sauceda drifts back, calls for it in left center. The ball kept drifting to his left, but he makes a catch for out number 1. So it'll be Kobe Wilson, the catcher, coming up to bat. Zambrano looking tough so far. Just as he did last week. Zambrano was called upon last week against Austin Westlake when they were trailing 4-1 in the later innings. Came in and pitched extremely well, and then they called on Gael Zambrano once again in game 3, and he started it. He only had about 51 pitches left, and he used them all, got them into the third inning with the lead. And of course, as the history books tell you, PG High beat Austin Westlake for the second year in a row in the regional semifinals. So now, for the second year in a row, facing Dripping Springs. Zambrano's pitch swung on. Curveball, beautiful pitch right there. 0-2 the count now on Wilson, the catcher. I'll tell you what, that's a beautiful thing about watching Zambrano throw. Got a good fastball, not an overpowering fastball, but what gives it good zip is that he's got a beautiful curveball. And he can manipulate it. It can be one of those 9-3 curveballs, more or less of a slider, or he can get that 12-6, meaning it's a drop. So he's got very good movement, and his fastball is quick enough. And of course, you start looking for that curveball, that fastball is going to look even faster. The pitch, it's a curveball, 70 miles an hour, hit straight back to the backstop. So it'll be 0-2 again. We'll do it again. Bobby Wilkinson on deck. Zambrano retired the first batter here in the bottom of the second. Fly ball to Salceda in left field. In fact, Zambrano has given up one ground ball and forced the hitters into 3 pop-ups. And the hitter, Wilson, calls time. Regroups. I think Wilson said again. The umpire says, okay, let's go, Zambrano. And Zambrano will deliver. It's a curveball hit up the middle. Ayala with his range dives and throws across the diamond. My goodness, TJ Ayala. A lot of glove love right there. Ayala ranges to his left, slides as he catches, steps up, throws across the diamond to JT Reyna for out number 2. Brilliant play by the shortstop. Great range. Solid arm. So 2 outs, nobody on. Brings up the first baseman, Bobby Wilkinson. Zambrano trying to get out of the second inning, and he's got a chance. That ball is lifted high, and it is gone. I didn't think it had a chance. Bobby Wilkinson takes the first pitch he sees from Zambrano. JD Salceda kept drifting back. I thought he had a chance when he got to the wall, and then he looks up, and it's over the fence. A solo blast off the bat of Bobby Wilkinson, and the early lead goes to Dripping Springs. I said it, folks. It's the wind's kind of blowing in, and it would take a monster shot to get out. And when it was hit, I knew it was hit hard, but it looked like Salceda was drifting back. I thought he had a chance to camp under it, but instead it just sails over the fence in left center. Well hit ball, absolutely. First mistake that Zambrano makes, he threw a fastball right down the heart of the plate, and Bobby Wilkinson just greeted him with a better swing. And well, right now, with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning, Dripping Springs takes the early lead, 1-0. So the hitter will be Eli Lemmer, the shortstop. He bats with nobody on. Zambrano throws a curveball. And incidentally, folks, I had mentioned earlier, Zambrano had started every hitter with a curveball. The first time he starts the hitter with a fastball, well, he was rudely met with a home run. Interesting thing to note. A ball and a strike as the ball hits the turf, hits it in the dirt. Garza goes back, picks it up, tosses it over to Zambrano. Zambrano's ready to go. That's what I like about Zambrano. No nonsense type of guy. Delivers. Curveball, hangs up a little high. 2 balls and a strike now. So the 2-1 offering upcoming with 2 outs. The beautiful curveball, 67 miles an hour. So Zambrano really took a lot off of that one. Like I said, guys, that's more of a slurve. That's your drop pitch right there. Something from around 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock if you're visualizing it on the pitch is made 81 mile an hour fastball. And again, 81 is not very hard, but when you throw it after a 67 mile an hour fastball, it does look viciously fast. So third out number 3, but in the process, Bobby Wilkinson with a 2-out home run gives Dripping Springs a 1-0 lead. After 2 complete innings of play, Dripping Springs 1, PSJ High 0 will head to the top of the third.
At PSJ, heroes don't wear capes. They wear aprons, ID badges, and walkie-talkies. They show up before the sun rises, and they stay long after the final bell rings. They do not fly through the skies, but they do move mountains for our students. One meal, one lesson, one ride, one smile at a time. This is more than a job. This is our mission. And together, we're a united force. So as we launch into the new year, let's rise, let's lead, let's unite. PSJA, assemble.
Here we go, folks. Welcome back to the top of the third inning. Game 3, the rubber match, the deciding factor on see who advances to the state semifinals. Gael Zambrano will have the Bears down 1-0 as we head into the top of the third. Zambrano gave up a home run to Bobby Wilkinson. And that's been it, folks. That's the lone hit so far for either team. PSJ High goes to the top of the third, hitless. They had a couple runners on base. Jesse Garza and Z Garza got on base, but they couldn't score. So it'll be the number 9 hole hitter, Nathan Peña, coming up to bat. The pitch, bit upstairs. Of course, the pitcher is Nixon Badia, and he's pitched well. He's worked around a walk and a hits batter. He has 3 strikeouts to his credit already. Good inside pitch. 2 balls and a strike now on the hitter leading off the third. The hitter is Nathan Peña, batting out of the number 9 spot. So that means James Cancino waits on deck, followed by TJ Ayala. And that, of course, is the top of the lineup. Pitch across the plate for strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. The 2-2 upcoming. Of course, a beautiful Saturday afternoon for baseball. No better place to be than at a baseball park. The pitch fouled straight back right at us. 2 balls and 2 strikes. So the pitcher from the stretch, as always, Badia waiting to throw the 2-2. Peña awaits. It's an 85-mile-an-hour fastball that's hit foul over the grandstand to the right side. And I tell you what, this is a very nice ballpark. It's completely covered, and it's got enough openings to where you can feel the breeze go through. Right now, it seems the wind's shifting. Now the wind's starting to blow to left field. Another foul ball straight back, so the count will remain 2-2 on the leadoff hitter here in the top of the third inning, Nathan Peña. Peña, of course, is the second baseman. He's had one opportunity, handled it well defensively. Now, can he produce a first hit for PSJ High? Of course, PSJ High looking for the first hit of the ball game. Well, it won't happen on an 86-mile-an-hour fastball off the arm of Badia. That is out number 1, strikeout number 4 for the pitcher. And now we're going to head back to the top of the lineup. James Cancino, he hit one off the end of the bat to the first baseman. Then it was a race between Cancino and the pitcher outran him to the bag for out number 1, and that's how the game started. So Cancino, second time at bat. Let's see if the Bears fare much better here. Second time through the lineup. The pitch in the dirt. Well, no, it's actually going to bounce off Cancino's foot. So that's a second hitter that is hit by the pitcher, Badia. So Badia has walked one and has hit 2 batters. So those are your 3 base runners that we've had so far here as we start the third inning. All of them have been either by a walk or by a hits batter. That brings up TJ Ayala. He struck out looking on a full count, and he didn't like it. He thought it was a ball 4. He was trotting down first base, but the home plate umpire said, no, sir, that's a strikeout. First pitch, and it is hit a mile high. The catcher looks back. Does he have room? And no, he will not. So giving chase is the catcher, Toby Wilson, but he runs out of real estate. Strike number 1 on Ayala. And of course, as I mentioned earlier, one of the key adjustments that Coach Guajardo said his hitters have to do is hit that fastball, not sit around and wait for a curveball to swing at. And there we saw Ayala getting after that first fastball. Was up in the letters, had an opportunity, but fouled it straight back. The pitch upstairs again, and this time it'll be a ball. 1-1 the count. And of course, a lot of times when you see that upstairs fastball, that means the curveball's coming. Low and in from a lefty. That's usually the spot. See what happens here. It'll be a fastball. Ayala gives it a ride. Left fielder is going to see it get over the fence. TJ, the strong man, Ayala has done it again. He did it in Game 3 against Austin Westlake. Deja vu all over again. A 2-run bomb. James Cancino is going to love that trot from first to home. Ayala with a round tripper. The fans are excited, folks. PSJ High has taken the lead 2-1 here in the top of the 3rd inning. My goodness, that was a towering home run over left center. The left fielder, Kate Sanders, took a couple steps back and he said, nope, I got no chance on this one. He kissed it goodbye, and PSJ High off the bat of JT Salinas, 2-run homer, gives PSJ High a 2-1 lead over Dripping Springs in the deciding Game 3. Of course, still got a long way to go. We're barely in the 3rd inning. Of course, in UIL baseball, it is a 7-inning game, a 7-inning affair. And now Guajardo is talking to somebody. I don't know if they want to get maybe somebody away from that part of the dugout. Maybe there's some fans that snuck in and trying to get a better view on down the right field foul line. Of course, we can't see that. Of course, the dugout blinds us from that, so we're not even going to speculate other than I'm sure it'll be addressed. 2-1 the count, 1 out. JT Reyna comes up to bat, followed by Zeke Garza. Excuse me, Jesse Garza, then Zeke Garza. Reyna, he was looking for the downs on that one. Takes a huge cut, comes up empty. That was a home run swing. Badia delivers. Misses outside. Again, Badia with good velocity. He's averaging an 85, 86, 87 mile an hour fastball. Good looking lefty. Always throwing from the stretch. Takes something off of that, a changeup at 79 miles an hour. So the difference of 7 miles an hour right there, that's huge, folks. That is huge in baseball when you can manipulate the ball. And it looked exactly the same pitch. He just pulled the string on it. Reyna swings through it. Inside fastball. Reyna dodges that one. That's one of those where sometimes you say, you know what? Should I take one for the team? But that was in an area, or I don't think you want to get hit. So he got out of the way. I would have too. 2-2 the count. Ball in the dirt. Good job by the catcher knocking it down. That'll make it a full count. So the payoff pitch coming up to JT Reyna. And Reyna, of course, has tremendous power. Hit over 500 on the season. So this guy's a stud. Reyna hits a solid line drive in the gap. That should get all the way to the wall. Reyna's got good speed. He's going to motor to second base for a stand-up double. Back-to-back extra base hits for PSJ High. JT Reyna. There was a guy over from Dripping Springs that said, man, I didn't know y'all had an Otani on your team. Because he can hit and he can throw. And I told him, he's a Juantani. Juantani Reyna. He can hit and he can throw. My goodness. Great stuff from PSJ High. The score 2-1. A runner on second. Very speedy. Runner comes in as the pinch runner. Jesse Garza comes up to bat. Zeke Garza on deck. Jesse got walked his last time at bat. And of course, this is where we start the lefty-lefty matchup. Jesse, Zeke, and Matthew, the next three hitters are all left-handed hitters. Curveball hangs upstairs. A ball, no strikes. PSGA High already with 2 on the board. They're not content though. They got a runner at second with 1 out. And of course, this is the meat of the order. You got Jesse Garza, the cleanup, Zeke Garza, the number 5 hitter, and Matthew Oswada, the number 6 hitter. Well, we're going to have time called. The pitcher regroups. Garza steps back into the batter's box, of course, left-handed. Throws right-handed, but bats left-handed. Does Jesse. They pitch from Badia. Curveball. And that is hit to the left side. Third baseman battles the sun, battles the wind, battles all the elements. But he's going to grab that in foul territory off the bat of Jesse Garza for out number 2. So fly out to the third baseman brings up Zeke Garza, the catcher. He was hit his first time at bat. Of course, Zeke Garza and Jesse Garza were stranded back in the second inning at second and third base. That's when PSGA High was hitless, but that all ended on a home run by TJ Ayala. He broke up the no-hitter with a 2-run bomb, giving PSGA High a 2-1 lead here in the top of the third. Of course, the hitter, the catcher, Zeke Garza, reached base after getting hit by Badia. Runner at second. Anything in the outfield should score the speedy runner from second. Of course, he's going on contact as well. Pitch is made outside, taken all the way by Garza. So Garza steps back into the batter's box. And, well, now Garza calls time again. Badia really slowing down. And, again, we mentioned that he was sick yesterday. He had strep throat yesterday. He said he couldn't go. Coach over at Dripping Springs a bit upset about that. He benched him. He did not let him play at all. So now he has the duties to keep Dripping Springs in this ball game. PSGA High would like to do something better. They like to add some more runs. Ball in the dirt. Still good velocity from Badia. That's 84 miles an hour, but now with the hitter, Zeke Garza. And, of course, as I mentioned, Jesse, Zeke, and Matthew, all left-handed hitters. Of course, the left-handed pitcher should have the advantage here, but he seems to struggle. Maybe he doesn't see enough left-handed hitters, and that's another indication right there as he steps off, looks the runner over at second. The shortstop gives him all sorts of signs over there. I'm not sure where he went. He went shirt, pants, cap, shirt, pants, cap. Not sure what that indicator means. But he's holding the runner at second very tightly. Big gaping hole between shortstop and the third baseman. Anything to the left side of the infield is going to be a hit. And they pitch it outside, but a pretty curveball. That makes it count a ball and 2 strikes now on Zeke Garza. Of course, Zeke Garza will continue to play baseball at Coastal Bend. So he'll be playing collegiately next year. Garza awaits the pitch, swung on and just fouled a 71-mile-an-hour curveball. So Garza does a good job staying alive. Ball on 2 strikes. Top of the third. First 2 innings were a blur. Here in the top of the third, as the pace has really slowed down because finally some action, some hitting. PSGA High came into the inning hitless. But now they have a couple of hits. A home run off the bat of TJ Ayala, a 2-run home run, and then a double off of the bat of JT Reyna. Now we have a pinch runner for Reyna at second. Badia very deliberate now. He knows that every pitch is very important. Garza patiently awaits the next pitch. There it is, and it is hit high in the air. The shortstop is going to catch it in the infield. So Zeke Garza pops up to the shortstop, but not before PSGA High breaks open. They get on the scoreboard. They score 2 runs. Cancino got hit by the pitcher. TJ Ayala hits a 2-run blast. JT Reina followed it up with a double, but then they pop up to the third baseman and pop up to the shortstop. So Badia gets out of the inning, giving up 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. So PG High in 3 at-bats, they collected 2 runs on 2 hits. They've left 3 runners on base. So we're going to head into the bottom of the 3rd inning. PGA High leading this pivotal game 2-1. Of course, what is at stake? Well, the Region 4 6A Division II championship is what is at stake. And, of course, Dripping Springs won it last year. The revenge-minded Bears would like to avenge that loss from last year. They want to get themselves into the history books. Of course, they're already making history as it is, folks. This is icing on the cake. Coach Guajardo has done a great job with this program, and he has won many district titles. Too many to name. I believe he just won his 6th district title in a row. And now the questions were, well, how far can you get in the playoffs with such talent? And Guajardo said, well, you know what? I think last year is when he said, he goes, I think we can go all the way. Well, they went to the Region 4 championship, and, you know, they stumbled against Dripping Springs in 3 games. And, of course, Dripping Springs is a fine program themselves. And this year, Guajardo said, I think we got the team to do it again. And, well, they found themselves here once again, 6A Division II, Region 4 championship. And, of course, the winner is going to face Houston Memorial. And Houston Memorial, a very, very good ball club. In fact, I was researching them a bit, and they, in their last 7 games, well, basically in the playoffs, they have 4 shutouts to their credit. So they have a dynamic pitching staff and good hitters. And, of course, talking to Coach Garcia, Orlando Garcia, our athletic director here at PSGISD, he was saying possibly that series would take place at the University of Houston in Houston, so that'd be a great venue to go watch a game, to be part of. But first things first, PSGA High with a 2-1 lead as we head into the bottom of the 3rd. It'll be the number 9 hitter, Cade Sanders, the left fielder, followed by Sam Branyan, the center fielder, and then Jake Pardue, the third baseman. So Sanders is the left fielder, followed by the center fielder. First pitch is a strike by Zambrano. Zambrano now pitching with the lead for the first time. 74-mile-an-hour curveball, so good job right there by Zambrano. Mixing it up. Ball and a strike on the hitter, Sanders. And again, the home plate umpire, which I believe it is Joe Hara from McAllen, is the home plate umpire. He doesn't like that nonsense of the batter stepping out, stepping in, dancing around too much. He wants him in the box, and wow. What a beautiful 69-mile-an-hour curveball, folks. That's a thing of beauty. I wish we were televising this game, but again, UIL made the decision not to allow us to do it. In fact, they didn't allow anybody to do it, so we don't feel so bad. At the very least, we're allowing you to hear it. Hear an audio, a radio version, a play-by-play version of it. The pitch from Zambrano, high hanger, curveball, but it'll be upstairs, full count. So the payoff pitch to Sanders will be coming from Zambrano. No one out. Bottom of the 3rd. Curveball is bounced foul. Good job by Gabriel Murillo there. Remember, Murillo played for PSGA High. He was a good-looking infielder. I remember back in those days, he used to always bother me when I coached baseball back when I first started coaching. He always loved using my SSK infielder's practice glove. Most infielders' gloves are about 8.5, 9 inches. This one was about 7 inches, so it was a very, very small glove. Make your hands work. And right there, he still has it. Wish you could have seen it. But the next pitch is bounced off. And, of course, Coach Guajardo has a very good coaching staff. It's just not him. It's just not the talent. He's got a good coaching staff. Great pride and tradition at PSGA High. Zambrano's pitch upstairs. So that'll be a base on ball. So that's not what you want to see from your pitcher, giving a free pass to the leadoff hitter after you take a 2-1 lead. But nonetheless, it'll be Zambrano battling the top of the lineup. Sam Branyan grounded out to the second baseman, so maybe he can do the same thing, ground out to the second baseman once again. And that could be a possible double play. Of course, it's going to be tough. Center fielder is fast. Branyan, of course, he bats from the left side. So Zambrano to the lefty. Branyan looked like he wanted to get a sacrifice bunt. It looked like it was over for a strike. And, of course, the hecklers come out on the home plate umpire. The home plate umpire said, no, it was upstairs. Ball one. PSJ Faithful, they didn't like it. And they're letting it be known. The ball is bunted and not fielded. Castillo, I think, took his eye off it. It was an easy bunt to handle, but I think Castillo glanced over at the runner to see where he was at. Castillo cannot make it. I'm not the official scorer, but in reality, that should be an error. And yes, they will mark it an error, E5. And that prompts Coach Guajardo to take a visit to the mound. So Branyan at first on an error, the first error of the ball game. And of course, Kate Sanders, who was given a walk, is at second base. So runners at first and second. And of course, both of these runners, one via a walk, the other one on error. So PSG High, after taking a 2-1 lead into the top of the third, has gotten themselves in trouble. Self-inflicted trouble, to be honest with you. And of course, it's a good part of the lineup for Dripping Springs as the number 2 hitter, Jake Pardue. And then it's Braden Medley. Of course, they're the number 2, number 3 hitters in the lineup. And of course, in the hole is Anthony Delgado, the cleanup hitter. So good time for Guajardo to go settle down Zambrano and make sure the infield makes an out. You know, anytime anybody sacrifices bunts, that's exactly what it is. They're sacrificing themselves. They're giving you an out. But unfortunately, that got by our third baseman. He glanced up to see where the runner is, and he forgot where the ball was. And, well, it's called an E5, folks. Error on the third baseman. But we move on. It's up to Zambrano and the infield to do the job. It's a left-handed hitter. Let's see if he elects to bunt once again. First baseman not holding the runner at first. They will try to bunt, but it's bunted foul. And, of course, as we saw there, as Dripping Spring did on the first pitch when the batter tried to bunt, both the first baseman and the third baseman charge, meaning there's a wheel route with the shortstop covering third and the second baseman covering first. Now, what that means is the batter brings a bunt back, the bat back, and he just slaps it. There's nobody in the middle infield. If he gets past the pitcher, there's absolutely nobody there to defend it. They're going to do it again. It is a bunt in front of the plate. It's a good one, and they're going to throw to first and get him. So the catcher, Zeke Garza, comes out of his crouch. Cat-like quickness gets Purdue 2-3, but a sac bunt for out number one. Branyan gets to second. Sanders gets to third. So Dripping Springs now has runners at second and third with one out. So here we go, folks. The hitter, Braden Medley, flew out to the right fielder. He bats in the number 3 spot. Zambrano with a 71-mile-an-hour curveball catches the outer part of the plate. And Zambrano's curveball ranges from 69 to about 72, and he throws not an inside curveball. He throws a curveball that starts almost the inner part, down the middle, and then falls to the outer part, and a diving attempt on a line drive by James Cancino comes up empty. Medley gets a base hit up the middle, almost a spectacular catch by James Cancino. He dove but couldn't corral it. He trapped it. That means Brandon gets to third, and that means Sanders scores. So we have a tied ball game, folks. 2-2, and that brings up Anthony Delgado, the right fielder, the cleanup hitter. So it took one hit to bring a run in. Now runners at the corners with one out. Of course, the inning started with a walk, and it's always tough to get out of an inning when you give a free pass. I think it's 70% that those runners score. Zambrano, runners at first and third. He's going to do the first and third move. Nobody's biting, though. Not much of a lead. I think with the cleanup hitter, they're going to allow the hitter to swing here. And on deck is the number 5 hitter, Chris Cruz McBride. A bunt, and it's a good one. It'll be, well, nobody was at first base. I'm not sure what happened there. It was a safety squeeze to perfection. Branyan scores, and PSJ High is in a little bit of a dilemma here. They just did not cover that bunt at all. Zambrano picked it up, but there was nobody at first base to throw to. By the time the first baseman did get there, he tried to swipe a tag, but the Speedy Delgado had already gone there, so it's going to be an infield hit because, well, there's really no wrongdoing except nobody was there. So that's the third hit of the ball game for Dripping Springs, and, well, they take the lead. They retake the lead 3-2. They have runners on first and second, so McBride comes up to bat. And let's see what he can do. And more importantly, let's see what Zambrano can do. Cruz McBride, the hitter. Zambrano working here hard in the third inning. 65-mile-an-hour curveball. A good job by Z Garza right there, knocking it down, keeping it in front of him. Ball 2 strikes though. Zambrano tried to make the hitter chase a curveball. There we see another curveball, and that is laced down the third base line. Ethan Olivares dives for it, can't get it, and that means the runner from second, Medley, will race home, giving Dripping Springs a 4-2 lead. That'll be a double for McBride, an RBI double. Delgado hustles all the way to the third base, so runners will be at second and third now with one out. And, of course, it's been good hitting from the last 2 hitters. Actually, the last 3 hitters, Medley, Delgado, and McBride for Dripping Springs, but self-infliction. A walk, an error, and they're not able to field a bunt. Well, basically, PSJ High has not been able to field 2 bunts. That's been the bottom line here in this inning, and Dripping Springs has taken full advantage of it. They've gotten back-to-back hits, and Dripping Springs led 1-0 after 2 innings. Top of the third looked pretty for PSJ High as they scored 2 runs, making the score 2-1, but Dripping Springs has answered with 3 runs of their own here in the bottom of the third and makes the score now 4-2. And Dripping Springs is not done yet, folks. Not out of the woods are the PSJ High Bears, as Dripping Springs is forcing PSJ High's infield to play in on the grass. Why? Because there's only 1 out and runners at second and third. And of course, Dripping Springs is a home team. Sometimes you say, well, we'll give up another run. Who knows? It'll make it 5-2, but at least it won't be a huge inning. But with Dripping Springs being the home team, PSJ High knows they have to get out of here without giving up any more runs. Zambrano has done a good job. Not necessarily his fault or his undoing. 82-mile-an-hour fastball swung on and missed by Kobe Wilson, the catcher. 0 for 1, grounded out to the shortstop. And that's exactly what Zambrano wants here. A ground ball to the infield, keeping the runners at bay, or a pop-up. Not deep enough to get the runners to score. Zambrano throws another lively fastball, but the count is outside. The ball is outside. 1-1 is the count now. Zambrano has thrown a lot of pitches. Of course, we don't have a pitch count, but I tell you what, he is really laboring here in the bottom of the third. So here we go, folks. Big pitch. Curveball, sweeping curveball. And again, it starts at the middle of the plate, and that one swept the plate way out of the strike zone for ball number 2. So 2 balls and a strike now. Zambrano, you got to dig deep here. The pitch. Good, lively 80-mile-an-hour fastball. Low and away. That'll even up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 1 out. Zambrano facing Wilson. This is the biggest batter he's faced so far this year. He needs to get out of the inning without any more damage. Right now, PG High trails 4-2, folks. The bottom of the third. Been a well-played ball game. Both teams taking advantage of the opportunities afforded to them and time. The hitter redoes his batting glove, his wrist protector, and who knows what else in the batter's box. And Hada, the umpire, says, okay, let's go. And Zambrano quickly shakes off the very next sign. Then he says, okay, let's do this next pitch. Here we go. Zambrano, curveball, bounce foul. Towards the third base dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes with an out. Dripping Springs trying to add to their totals. They have runners at second and third. Zambrano and the Bears defensively can ill afford to give up any more runs. Big pitch sequence, big at bat right here. The pitch is made and it is hit high to the center fielder. Cancino is going to catch it. There's a runner. He's going to go home. Will there be a play at the plate? No, there will not. Cut off by JT Reina. Cancino threw it as hard as he could, but that ball was just hit too deep into center field. So Wilson does his job. A sac fly to the center fielder for out number 2. Bobby Wilkinson, the first baseman, comes up to bat. And of course, Wilkinson hit a home run his first time at bat. Very first pitch he saw, a fastball, drove it over the left center field fence, and now he has a runner on second with 2 outs. 5-2 is the score, and he pounds a curveball past the Dripping Springs bench. Strike 1. This is the 8th batter of the inning that Zambrano has faced. So it's been a lengthy inning for that young man. Beautiful curveball. My God, that's a work of art right there. That was that one, I'm telling you. It's a drop. It's a 12-6 hanger, but it just looks too pretty. You can't pull the trigger on it. You just admire that one. Go right over the strike zone. Of course, you can't do it again. This time the hitter is really looking for it. See what he comes back with here on the 0-2. It's a curveball outside. Garza does everything he can, but that'll be a wild pitch. That means Cruz McBride will cruise over to third base. So 90 feet away is the potential 6th run for Dripping Springs. So the count will be a ball, 2 strikes. Of course, that was a big curveball once again off the arm of Zambrano. And that's the dangerous part about throwing so many curveballs. Anytime it bounces, when it does bounce, especially on the turf, it can take a very unusual hop. It's tough for the catcher to grab. That ball is lifted high into right center, and the center fielder, James Cancino, is going to race it down for out number 3. But in the process, Dripping Springs puts up 4 runs on a couple of hits. 1 error, 1 runner left on base. So after 3 complete innings of play, Dripping Springs leads 5-2. We'll be back for the top of the 4th.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in Texas.
This message presented by the UIL and the Texas High School Athletic Directors Association.
Welcome back, folks, to a KTRI radio edition broadcast, courtesy of PSJA ISD. We're here at Cal Allen Wildcats Baseball Stadium, and it's a beautiful Saturday afternoon, but right now PSJA High finds themselves trailing as we head into the top of the fourth, 5-2. Quick recap, it was 0-0 after 1-0 for Dripping Springs after 2. PSJA High in the top of the third made it 2-1, but a couple mistakes, and Dripping Springs erupted for 4 runs in the bottom of the third to answer PSJA High's 2 runs. So it's 5-2 now as we head into the top of the fourth. The hitter will be Matthew Aswara, followed by Ethan Olivares, and then Gael Zambrano. And of course, pitching, Nixon Badia. He's given up 2 hits, 2 runs. The Bears have left 3 runners on base. First pitch is over for a strike. Swing and a miss on a curveball. As the sun finally breaks through the clouds. And of course, the advantage is to the home team, Dripping Springs. Their dugout is kind of shaded. Their fans are shaded, while our PSJA High fans on the first base dugout, well, they're glaring into the sun now. I'm having a hard time seeing what's going on. Might have to look for my sunglasses. There you go, much better. The 0-2 swung on and miss. Good morning, good afternoon, good night to Mr. Aswara Badia with a strikeout on 3 straight pitches. That is strikeout number 5 for Nixon Badia. Brings up Ethan Olivares. Flew out to the right fielder his first time at bat. Gael Zambrano now on deck. Of course, we're in the 4th inning, so it's quickly moving along here. As they say, it's getting late rather early. We're already in the 4th inning. There's only 7 innings in this ball game. Of course, deciding game 3. A rematch from last year's 6A Division II Regional Championship. That one's low. Ball in the dirt. Ball on a strike on the hitter, Olivares, the third baseman. Olivares awaits the lefty's offering on the 1-1. So fastball inside, 2-1. So that chases the hitter back into the batter's box. 2-1 the count. And the pitch, a fastball taken right down the heart of the plate. So 84-mile-an-hour heater. So Badia still throwing well. That's what he's averaged, 84, 85, 86. His highest or his fastest fastball has been at 87 miles an hour. But Olivares takes the next pitch, low and inside, so it'll be a full count. So the payoff pitch upcoming. The Bears need base runners. The pitch. That is line into left, and it'll get down for a base hit. Ethan Olivares with a laser shot into left field. Well, the Bears needed a base runner, and they got one. They have a runner on first. Now it's time to scratch and crawl and make a comeback. They trail by 3, 5-2 here in the top of the 4th inning. Still a lot of game left. Zambrano comes up to bat with a runner first and 1 out. Zambrano will was struck out his first time at bat. Took some big swings. Let's see if he shortens up the swing and tries to do a better job of making contact here. He's got a runner on first. Peña on deck. Zambrano. Well, you try to bunt. Not sure why you're trying to bunt, unless he's trying to bunt for a hit, but sacrificing a bunt to get the runner to second with 2 outs isn't the most fundamental thing to do. You'd rather take your chances than swing the bat. So Coach Fajardo talking to Zambrano, and he's probably telling them that. Exactly, have confidence in yourself, son. Look for a pitch you can hit and hit it. So Zambrano walks back. Gonna take his time, get into the batter's box. He's gonna regroup. Gonna finally step into that batter's box. The pitcher is already ready. Throwing the rubber from the stretch is Badilla with a runner on first. Not a very big lead. The lefty delivers, swung on and missed by Zambrano. So no balls and 2 strikes the count now. Zambrano chases a high hitter upstairs right at the letters. Couldn't catch up to it. Old pitch is made. 2-2 the count now. 1-2, excuse me. A ball and 2 strikes. So Zambrano waits the 1-2 with a runner on first. The lefty delivers. It's an 83-mile-an-hour pitch. Maybe a 2-seamer that sailed into Zambrano's bat from the left-handed pitcher. That's a strikeout for out number 2. That's strikeout number 6 in the game for Cruz Badilla. And now brings up Nathan Peña. He struck out his first time at bat. So the second baseman hitting the number 9 spot. Hits he swings at the first pitch, fouls it straight back for strike number 1. This would be huge if Peña can get on base, because that means you turn over the lineup. It'll be Cancino who waits on deck. Of course, he's the leadoff hitter, and then TJ Ayala would follow after that. So big at bat here. The pitch, the 84-mile-an-hour fastball is swung on and missed. Go to the count with 2 outs, a runner on first. He's going on contact, folks. Pitch, and that is fouled straight back. Much better looking swing there. And again, the tall task that the Bears hitters are facing right now, this left-handed pitcher, he's got good velocity. He can mix it up. And what he does, he throws that high heater, and when it's up in the eyes, you want to chase it. Sometimes it's out of the strike zone. That's the problem. And a foul ball, that's going to give the catcher an opportunity, but no, it's going to glance off the netting. That was a 78-mile-an-hour curveball, so Peña does a good job of hanging with that. So we'll do it all over again. No balls and 2 strikes. After a couple of foul balls, I think Badilla may elect here to have Peña chase something. Of course, you never want to throw a curveball in the dirt, because that can bounce. That can make the runner from first advance to second base. Let's see what he does. 0-2. It's a high heater up and away, and of course, just a waste pitch, a chase pitch. Hitter, Peña, very disciplined, doesn't chase it. A ball, 2 strikes now with 2 outs. And let's see if we get Olivares into motion here. And he will not go. That may have been a good pitch. That'll even up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. On the hitter, Nathan Peña. Peña 0 for 1. And the pitch. Just low and away. Full count. So now the runner at first will be going. Of course, with the left-handed pitcher, you got to make sure he throws home first. You can't get too excited and just go on his first movement, because he'll pick you off. Well, before that, we're going to have a time called by Peña, the hitter. Here we go, folks. A 3-2. Man will be running at first. That's Olivares. It is hit hard into left field. Is it going to get down? Yes, it does. Right in front of the left fielder. Peña comes through with a big base knock right there. And as we said, folks, that is huge because that gets us to the top of the lineup. James Cancino on deck. He's 0 for 1, but he got hit by the pitcher his last time at bat. And, of course, on deck is TJ Ayala, who hit that 2-run home run. So that's exactly what you wanted. The number 9 hole hitter to come through. Yeah, well, now we're going to have, I believe, a pinch runner in for the runner at second base, I believe. And perhaps Olivares not that fast or fast enough for Guajardo to say, you know what, we need to score him somehow from second base. And absolutely, he's right. With the leadoff batter hitting, James Cancino here in the top of the 4th. Couple of strikeouts for the pitcher, Badia, but a couple of hits as well. So PJ has gotten 2 hits in the inning. They've struck out twice, but runners at first and second, 2 outs. Runners going on contact, folks. So anything to that field should be a run. In the gap could mean 2. Ball in the dirt. 76-mile-an-hour curveball to Cancino. Good job by the catcher there, knocking it down. Taking his time is the pitcher, and that makes Cancino call timeout. So, again, pressure situation for both teams. More on the pitcher because he's got to deliver something. He's got to make something happen. The hitter just reacts to the pitch, but the pitcher has got to make an offering here. And a pickoff move is what they were thinking about. The shortstop, again, he plays rather close to the second base, protecting that runner at second, trying to keep him close. But again, what it does is it opens up a huge gap between the third baseman and the shortstop. So anything grounded to the left side of the infield could be a base hit. Can Cancino get the job done here? Well, they throw a hard fastball away. 85-mile-an-hour fastball. And it was a pretty pitch on the outside portion of the plate. That might have even been a ball. But he swings at it. A ball and a strike to Cancino. 2 outs. PJ High trying to get themselves right back in. They're trying to cut, at the very least, cut it in half with a run. It's 5-2 right now. Cancino awaits the 1-1. It's a curveball. Two and 1 the count now with 2 outs. And on deck, of course, the ever dangerous TJ Ayala. The delivery, 86 miles an hour. So Badia throws a high heater at 86 miles an hour. Cancino fights it off, falls it straight back. So the battle will continue here. Again, we glance over at the shortstop, giving all kinds of signs. And the pitcher, Badia, will look in, get the sign from his catcher. Let's see what it is. Fastball or curveball. And taking his time is Badia. I'm surprised Cancino hasn't called time, and he won't. Ball, 2 strikes. The pitch upstairs. That'll make it a full count now with 2 outs. So, of course, runners on first and second. So they're going to go on this payoff pitch. A lot can happen if Cancino can put it in play, especially with the shortstop covering second base. A lot of gaps, a lot of openings. And, well, of course, why is he covering second base as the pitcher, again, steps off, chases the runner back. Modest leads for the runners at first and second off the lefty. Cancino awaits the payoff pitch. And, well, before that, we're going to have another pickoff attempt. Of course, the pitcher not throwing to the base. He's just making sure that the runner knows, I'm thinking about you. Don't get too much of a lead, because if you do, I will attempt to pick you off. Right now, they're just glances. They're just looks. Keeping them honest, as they say. Badia with the payoff pitch. Runners go, and that is a walk, folks. Ball 4 to Cancino. And that loads up the bases. Cancino to first, Peña to second, Olivares to third, and, well, we're going to have another visit to the mound. This will be the second visit. Now we have the head coach going and talking, and, well, they're pointing at the bullpen. We can't see the bullpen, and, yep, we got activity. We got somebody jogging in, so we're going to get a relief pitcher. And I believe it is number 25 coming in to relieve. And, yep, it is last night's starting pitcher, Blake Cox. I think he only had 60 pitches last night, so he can still throw about 50. Of course, in high school baseball, you're afforded 110 pitches, so we don't know exactly the pitch count, but I think it was more or less around 60 pitches. So Blake Cox will come in relief of Nixon Badia. Of course, Blake Cox was the winning pitcher last night. That's Blake Knox, excuse me. And, of course, Badia through 3 2/3 innings. Gave up 4 hits. Only 2 runs, though, so Blake Knox will come in and inherit the bases loaded, actually. He'll inherit the bases loaded. Well, here we go, folks. The pitcher warming up. Very lively fastball. Supposedly this kid throws in the 90s. Of course, the pitcher Badia was throwing upper 80s, 84, 85. And now we're going to have the new pitcher. So here we go, folks. Batter steps in, TJ Ayala. They bring in a new pitcher for him as he had a home run last time, a 2-run homer. First pitch is a 68-mile-an-hour curveball. Everybody's thinking he's going to bring the high heater, but he starts out the at-bat with a curveball. That's what it'll be. Blake Cox pitching. Number 25 was a winning pitcher last night. 0-1 the count with 2 outs. Ayala steps off, regroups, gets ready. Of course, he was started with a slow curveball. Word around town says Cox can really bring it. He's got a lively fastball. He inherits the bases loaded. Ayala awaits a delivery from Cox. It's another curveball. It's a check swing, and the first baseman grabs it and tosses it over to Cox for out number 3. So Ayala with an check swing to the first baseman. Pitcher covering for out number 3. So PSJ High, they had some chances. They get no runs on a couple of hits, no errors. PSG High strands the bases loaded. So in 4 at-bats, PSG High has pounded out 4 hits. Only situation there is they've stranded 6 base runners. So Cox comes in and retires the only batter that he faced. That was Ayala. So we're going to hit into the bottom of the 4th inning. And the score will continue to be Dripping Springs 5, PSGA High 2. And of course, Zambrano will continue his work. He's pitched well. In 3 innings of work, he's given up 5 runs, but just 4 hits. It was an error and a walk and a misplayed bunt that really is the damaging part. And of course, that was back in the 3rd inning where PSGA High gave up 4 runs. And it'll be the bottom of the lineup with the number 8 and 9 hitters coming to bat. Eli Lemmer, and Cade Sanders. So here we go, folks. Gael Zambrano has some work to do here. And the good part about it is it's the bottom of the lineup. So he'll face the number 8 and then number 9 hitter. And then it'll be back to the top of the lineup with Sam Branyan. So it's important for Zambrano to get these first 2 hitters out. If he can do that, hopefully he can cruise through the bottom of the 4th and have his team hitting to the bottom of the 5th, only trailing by 3. We're getting later into the ball game. Of course, only 7 innings in UIL baseball, in high school baseball. So technically, we're halfway done through the game as we played 3.5 innings. The first pitch from Zambrano, it's a pitch that swung on, fouled, almost into the home dugout. Of course, the home team, Dripping Springs, the third base dugout. So 0-1 is the count. Zambrano's 0-1 offering. Another fastball hit to Zambrano. Zambrano will get it, toss it over to Reyna for out number 1. So the shortstop, Lemmer, is retired. 1-3 for out number 1. So Cade Sanders comes up to bat. He walked to lead off the 3rd inning. And of course, that leadoff walk was the start of a 4-run inning in the bottom of the 3rd. First pitch swinging, and that's lofted to James Cancino. Cancino will grab that opportunity in center field easily for out number 2. So with 2 outs, brings up the center fielder for Dripping Springs, Sam Branyan. He's over 2. Grounded out to the second baseman and then bunted, but an error by the third baseman, and that's what opened up the floodgates. Olivares just took his eye off it simply as that, and Branyan scored the second run of the inning a few moments later. So it'll be 2 outs, nobody on here. Swung on, hit high, and that has a chance to leave the ballpark, and it does. Sam Branyan takes it deep over the right field fence. That was a solid line drive home run. Dripping Springs is now up 6-2. The leadoff hitter produces big time. That gives Dripping Springs a 6-2 lead. So the Bears and Zambrano, they've already given up a run here, and of course it was a big one. That's a solo home run, folks. You may say, well, if you're going to give up a home, make it a solo home run. You're going to give up a home run, but with 2 outs, that's what hurts. Zambrano was 1 out away from getting out of the inning, and he could not. So now it's up for Zambrano to get Jake Pardue out. And that ball is hit hard to Olivares. He'll gobble it up. Nice little flip over to Reina for out number 3. But not before Dripping Springs adds a big insurance run off the bat of Sam Branyan with 2 outs, a solo blast. That makes the score 6-2 after 4 complete innings of play. So we're going to head to the top of the 5th after a brief break.
At PSG ISD, we take pride in being one of the few school districts in the region to offer our very own employee clinics. Enjoy access to high-quality medical services with a $0 copay for you and your family members covered under the PSG ISD medical plan. From chronic condition management, annual checkups, and flu shots to urgent care needs, our licensed physicians are here to keep you and your family healthy and thriving. Visit our locations in FAR at 1200 East Polk Avenue, Building G, or in San Juan at 1229 South Veterans Boulevard. Appointments for you and your covered family members can be made by calling 956-354-2170.
Here we go, folks. Welcome back to the third game of the Region 4 6A Division 2 Championship. Your very own PGA High Bears taking on the Dripping Spring Tigers. Right now, the Tigers with the advantage, though. They're up 6-2 as we head into the top of the 5th. Of course, PGA High, the visitors. So they got to make some noise here. They only have 3 at-bats left. They have the 5th, 6th, and 7th inning. They trail 6-2. PGA High won Game 1. They failed last night. That's why we're here in this decisive Game 3. Winner advances to the state semifinals to play Houston Memorial. So it'll be up to the heart of the lineup pretty much for PGA High. JT Reina, Jesse Garza, and then Zeke Garza. Reina 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a double. Takes a big swing but misses. And of course we have a new pitcher who pitched a third of an inning in relief. Nixon Badia started the game. Blake Cox now in to relief. He was last night's game winner. A big swing, and that is belted high. The left fielder charging in, Kate Sanders, and he'll grab it. Took a while for that big pop-up fly ball to come down, but nonetheless, it does fall into the left fielder's glove for out number 1. Jesse Garza comes up to bat, followed by Zeke Garza. Of course, the next 3 hitters will be left-handed hitters. Let's see how they fare now against a right-handed pitcher. Cox delivers. And yes, there we go, folks. Just as advertised. Nice, smooth, easy 91 miles an hour for a strike. Garza takes it. And that tells you, folks, when you see this delivery, it's a nice flowing delivery. He's not trying to overthrow. It's just a fluid delivery. He's got good zip. The ball just rockets off his hand. And I guarantee you, I've seen pitchers throw like that. I've played catch with pitchers that can throw hard like that. Throwers, they throw a very heavy ball, so it makes it hard for you to drive it as well. Well, he follows it up with a change of pace. My goodness, that's going to be tough to hit. I'm not going to lie. He can throw a old country fastball and then mix it up with a good change of pace curveball. The ball 2 strikes to Jesse. See what Jesse Garza can do. Swinging from the left side, the DH. It's another off speed, 73 miles an hour. So that's a huge difference right there, from 91 to 73. That's just how difficult the game of baseball is. And then, of course, it's just not the velocity. It's the changing of the height of the pitch. Is it low? Is it up? Is it inside? Is it outside? Swung on, hit over Cox's head. The shortstop grabs it. He will not be able to grab it. So the shortstop, Eli Limmer, did everything he can, but Garza bounces one over the pitcher's head, and that's using full advantage of the turf. That's an infield hit for Garza. So PGA High has a runner on first with 1 out. Brings up the catcher, Zeke Garza. So Zeke Garza up to bat, the senior. He's 0 for 1 officially. Popped up to the shortstop his first time at bat. He was hit, stranded on base back in the second inning. That's when PSJ High had runners at second and third, but they could not produce a run. Well, we're going to have a conference at the pitcher's mound once again. That gives an opportunity to talk to Mr. Garza, to Zeke. And I know I saw his dad, Gar, out here watching, and I used to play a lot of softball with Mario. Mario was a very good third baseman and a solid hitter, and of course, Mario Garza is your mayor in the city of San Juan. Good guy. And of course, his son, a great athlete, great hitter. The catcher, Zeke, comes up to bat in a very important situation here in the bottom of the fifth. Well, before that, Joe Garza is going to say time. Make sure, I believe, they have the count right, which is an 0-0 count, and the outs right. It's 1 out. The delivery, 90 miles an hour, but outside. That'll be ball 1 to Zeke Garza, the catcher. On deck, Matthew Aswada. And, of course, the Garzas are left-handed hitters, as is Aswada. The 1-0. Change of pace, 77 miles an hour. So from 91 to 90 to 77. Called strike on the inside portion of the plate, 1-1. Got to look fastball and then adjust to the off-speed stuff. Just a nice, easy fastball. And I tell you what, folks, it looks quick, but it looks so simple. It gets you very quickly. That was 90 miles an hour, right down the heart of the plate. Garza just could not pull the trigger. Garza digs deep here. See what he can do with a 1-2 from Cox. It's off speed, away, even up the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes with a runner on first. Of course, PSJ High needs some more base runners. They trail by 4, so they got to scratch and claw, try to cut into this lead any way they can. Of course, they have the fifth, sixth, and then the last inning to do it. Ball low, so that'll make it a full count. So Zeke Garza was behind in the count. Now he's made it a full count, making the pitcher, Blake Cox, really work here. Of course, Blake was a winning pitcher last night. Pitched extremely well. Garza awaits the payoff pitch and is swung on at 91 miles an hour. A good-looking pitch to hit, and Garza just missed it. Just got under it a little bit. And we'll do it again, folks. The payoff with a runner on first. Infield playing straight away. Outfield playing a little deep to left field as, again, the wind's starting to pick up. It's starting to get cooler. That coastal breeze is coming in, and, you know, the wind's starting to blow now from pretty much from the third base dugout to left field. So the payoff pitch to Garza from Cox. It's a fastball. It's hit high into the left field sky, and the left fielder, Sanders, will make the grab. Garza gave it a ride. 91 mile an hour fastball. Took it the other way, but Sanders had plenty of real estate to make that catch. So Sanders has caught out number 1 and caught out number 2 now with a runner on first. Brings up Aswada. Matthew, the right fielder, Ethan Olivares on deck. 0 for 2 is Aswada in the ball game. And of course, Aswada, another lefty playing in right field. 68 mile an hour curveball. So that's the slowest curveball we've seen at 68. The highest fastball we've seen, or the hardest fastball we've seen, at 91. That's a big difference right there. Throw over to first. Runner back easily. So the offer from the pitcher, waiting, is the hitter, Aswada, and he gets it. Curveball, good job by the catcher right there, knocking it down. That was Kobe Wilson. Keeping that in front of him, and it bounced right around the plate area. Ball and a strike to Aswada. With 2 outs, a runner on first. PJ High trying to make some magic here, and it is swung on and missed. Aswada wanted that. I think he had a pitch right there that he can hit. He just missed it. Aswada a little upset with himself, saying, man, I should have banged that one, hit it into the gap somewhere. But we'll do it again. Took a good swing at a lively fastball. Now will Cox come back with an off-speed pitch. Hit foul. Well, Hadlo dances out of the way. That was the fastest pitch so far, 92 miles an hour. So he's heating up, folks. I think he's got a couple more miles an hour in him, to be honest with you. I think if he really rears back, he can get to 93, 94 easily. And that's the quality of pitching you're going to see at this level of play. No one is a pushover when you get to the 4th round of the playoffs. Everybody has solid baseball players. The pitch, did he go? They're going to say no. It almost hit us. What a tremendous breaking ball. So that'll even it up 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs, a runner on first. As they say, deuces are wild here in the top of the 5th. PJ High trails 6-2, folks. They're trying to make some magic here. They're trying to get themselves right back in this ballgame. And they trail by 4. They want to cut into this lead. Can they do it at this at bat? It's a high chopper to the second baseman. Perfect spot to catch it as the second baseman, Braden Medley, catches it right around the second base area. So Aswada retired for out number 3. And that means we're going to head into the home half of the 5th inning. Right now, things are not looking the way we wanted them to look. PJ High trailed 1-0 after 2, and then after the top of the 3rd was done, PJ High on a TJ Ayala home run took the lead 2-1. It looked good. And then the wheels kind of fell apart. A couple of defensive mistakes, more mental mistakes than anything, not physical. And Dripping Springs took full advantage of it. They took a 5-2 lead. And then, of course, just this last inning, a solo 2-out home run off the bat of Sam Branyan. And, well, that's why we're at 6-2, folks. Of course, we're heading into the home half of the 5th, the bottom of the 5th. So PSJ High, with only 2 at-bats left, they must hold Dripping Springs at 6 runs. Anything more, and it may be a bit insurmountable. And, of course, pitching, Gael Zambrano, he's done a good job. He's given up 6 runs, but just on 5 hits. So, Zambrano, of course, 2 of those hits were home runs. One by Bobby Wilkinson and the other one by Sam Branyan. So, big swings, big runs. Dripping Springs leads at 6-2. As we're going to have Braden Medley come up to bat. He's 1 for 2. Flew out to the right fielder his first time at bat and got a base hit and scored a run back in the 3rd. So Medley comes up. As we have Z Garza put his catcher's mask on. So Medley is awaiting the first pitch from Zambrano. And let's see how we get the bottom of the 5th started. It's a good pitch. Taking a little low, though. I will say ball 1. I think Zambrano was hoping that would be called a strike, but the umpire says no, ball 1. And, well, they're asking to check, but there was no swing attempt. The pitch was just kind of a little low. Third baseman played in. Possible bunt. And it's hit. Well, it's a good grab by Ayala. Ayala fires to first. spectacular play, but Medley with an infield base hit. I'll tell you what, I thought that was through at first glance, but great range by TJ Ayala. That was excellent right there. He dove deep in the hole, got up, threw one off the turf. That helps, and got it to JT Reina, but of course the speedy base runner beat it out, so it'll be an infield hit. So that's how the bottom of the fifth gets started. And then the next batter is going to bunt and see Garza. Wow. Cat-like reflexes from behind the plate with all that gear. A bunt attempt gets popped up, and Garza is going to snare it. The diving effort in foul territory. So Delgado, the cleanup hitter, tries to get a sac bunt, but pops up to the catcher for out number one. And, of course, Medley stays at first base. So now Medley's at first base with one out, brings up Cruz McBride. And the ball's in the dirt, but the runner cannot advance. McBride, of course, the DH. So Zambrano from the stretch looks in. Trying to get out of this inning unscathed without any runs. Ball in the dirt again. 2-0 the count now to McBride. On deck is Kobe Wilson, the catcher. So Zambrano deals. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, they did. 2 balls and a strike. Couldn't hold back as a hitter, so takes that inside. 2 balls and a strike now. Pitch low and away, taking the whole way. 3-1 now. Zambrano working late into the game here in the bottom of the fifth, trying to keep this a 4-run ball game. Swung on, and that is lifted high. Way ahead of the pitch was the hitter. Driven way foul. That one's going to be hard to find. That went over the Cow Island Wildcats hitting complex, and it's a pretty one. You got an indoor hitting batting tunnels and the coach's office in there, so it's pretty good. They got a nice machine and everything. It's a good place to be at, and that one is lofted to Salceda. Salceda will grab it, make the throw, and the base runner scampers back. He has to slide back to first. McBride, give it a ride, but Salceda makes a catch for out number 2, and Kobe Wilson comes up to bat. Wilson is 0 for 1. He had a sac fly his last time at bat that drove in a run. And of course, Bobby Wilkinson, the catcher's on deck, and he's 1 for 2 with a home run. So you want to get out of the inning with this batter right here. First pitch is a hanging 69-mile-an-hour curveball. And some fancy footwork by Zambrano as the catcher, Garza, bounced it off the pitcher's mound. Gets away from the pitcher. The runner could have advanced to second base. So Zambrano throws, runner going. There's a good throw to second, but a better jump by the base runner. So Medley will steal second base. See, Garza quickly threw that, but the good jump enabled the base runner to get there. So runner in scoring position now with 2 outs. For Wilson, Zambrano with a curveball, and that is bounce, and Ayala will grab it. Backhand throw to first. And they got him. Wow, what a play. The umpire took his time. TJ Ayala, I'll tell you what, he can hit, he can field, he's got great range, and he's got a cannon of an arm. So that'll do it, folks, for the 5th inning. No runs on 1 hit, 1 runner left on base, so we're going to head into the top of the 6th. Dripping Springs still with a 6-2 lead. We'll be back.
Before the first bell rings, before the buses roll in, before a single pencil hits the paper. There's us. We are the first to arrive, the calm before the energy, the heartbeat of the district. Every student's journey begins with a hero, a real one, the kind who shows up every day, no cape, just purpose. This year we rise stronger. We lead louder, and we show the world what PSJ heroes are made of. Because not all heroes wear capes.
Here we go, folks. We are going to head into the top of the 6th inning. And of course, this is a 7-inning game brought to you by KTRI, courtesy of PSJA ISD. PSJ High finds themselves trailing, though, as we head into the top of the 6th, 6-2. But plenty of time, folks. You know, of course, it's late, the 6th inning. But PSJ High has 6 outs to work with, so they got to, at the very least, cut it in half here. It'd be even better if they tie it. Of course, they got a tough customer on the mound. And Blake Cox throwing. He throws hard. He throws low 90s. It's a very good off-speed pitch in the upper 70s, so a good change of pace. And the throw to second base, so the top of the 6th inning is about to get underway. It'll be the 7, 8, 9 hole hitters. Ethan Olivares, Gael Zambrano, and then Nathan Peña. So Blake Cox ready to get the top of the 6th underway. Olivares, 1 for 2 in the game. Got a base hit his last time at bat. Takes the first pitch upstairs for ball 1. Cox misses outside, 89 miles an hour. 2-0 now. Of course, Cox threw last night. Threw a great game, so maybe his arm's getting a little bit tired here. Good high heater. Good hitter's pitch right there. Upstairs on the 2-0 count, but not able to make contact is Olivares. Taking a little bit off right there is Cox. 2-2 now. Olivares was way ahead of the count, 2-0. Now it's even at 2-2. From the stretch. Well, we're going to have a time before that. The batter calls time. And that's the other thing we've noticed this afternoon is all the pitchers from Dripping Springs, they like going directly to the stretch, not from the windup. Maybe they feel there at Dripping Springs with the coaching staff that they get better mechanics from that. They get better leg drive from the windup. Excuse me, from the stretch. 73-mile-an-hour curveball bounces in the dirt. So it'll be full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Olivares trying to get the top of the 6th underway in a positive note. Can he get on somehow? He gets jammed, but still hits it hard to center field. But the center fielder, Sam Branyan, is there to make the catch for out number 1. So Olivares hit it solid. Just right at a player. So 1 out brings up Gael. Well, so Jorge Castillo will come up to bat, number 22 for Zambrano. And let's see what Castillo can do here. So that may mean Zambrano may be done pitching. 91-mile-an-hour fastball taken outside by Jorge Castillo. Hitting for Zambrano, who went 0 for 2. So Guajardo trying to mix it up here, trying to regain some magic. Swung on a good looking swing. He was all over that 90-mile-an-hour fastball. Ball on a strike now. On deck, it should be Nathan Pena, but I believe we're going to get another pinch hitter. Okay, so the umpire was checking the ball, make sure it was not scuffed up. Hit the padding right behind the catcher. Pretty hard, so here we go, folks. Cox with the delivery. Swung on and missed. Got to be strike number 2 now on Jorge Castillo, the pinch hitter for Zambrano. 1 out in the inning. PSG High needs base runners, folks. They're down to their final 5 outs. It's a beautiful curveball at 73 miles an hour. Castillo can only look at it. Out number 2. So CJ Guajardo comes up to bat. I believe he went up to pinch hit last night as well. Let's see what he can do here. 2 outs. First pitch is bouncing the dirt. Guajardo, of course, pinch hitting for Pena in the number 9 spot. So on deck is the leadoff hitter, James Cancino. Swung on it, missed. Took a little bit off that one, maybe a 2-seam fastball. It looked quicker than what it was. It was 86 miles an hour, but nonetheless, very tough pitch to hit. Guajardo just swung through that. And there you go. This time he did rear back was Cox, 90 miles an hour. So again, he throw you a fastball. It's got quickness at 86. Majority of high school pitchers, especially in the Rio Grande Valley, they're going to throw about 82, 83 miles an hour. So they're seeing something different today. That's a foul tip off the home plate umpire, and hopefully Mr. Hara is okay. Has got quiet here, and they're going to attend to him rather quickly. That was a 91-mile-an-hour fastball that glanced off the bat of the hitter and then caught the umpire squarely in the face mask, and that jolts, and I think it was almost on the jaw side. So you know, there's padding there. There's you know, big bar framework there, but man, that hurts, especially at that speed. And when you're talking about it, you know, you think it's 91 miles an hour. When it hits out the bat, it picks up speed. So that's even quicker. So I think he's gonna be all right. They're gonna let him shake it off. They're asking him, move your jaw around, making sure you're okay. And of course, the other thing is, you got to look, make sure, and that's what I think the Dripping Springs trainer is saying. He's looking at him, and he's like, look at me in the eyes and make sure you don't have a concussion or anything. So, of course, we're going to take a brief break right here, folks. PG High trailing 6-2 as they attend the injured umpire. And, of course, what would happen if he can't go? Well, somebody would have to take his spot. Somebody's going to have to put on their their umpiring gear to call behind the plate. And we saw that last year. I think, and in fact, it was at this very ballpark when it was hot, humid, and the home plate umpire got dehydrated, almost fainted, and we had about a 15, 20-minute break. So, looks like Joe Hara, the home plate umpire, is going to be all right. He's going to look, see if he can call the strike. If he can see it, and Hara says, yep, I'm ready to go. Let's do it. Good for him. I'm glad he's good. He took a shot, folks. That's like getting hit by a boxing professional right there. That's got to, you know, get the nostrils flowing and everything. So, well, he's all right. Let's see what we're going to do now here with CJ Guajardo. Well, it's a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. Unable to pull the trigger is a hitter. So back-to-back strikeouts from Cox. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base. So we're going to head into the home half of the 6th inning. PSJ High finds themselves trailing 6-2. It'll be the lower half of the batting lineup, the number 7, then 8, then 9 hole hitters. Wilkinson, Lemur, and then Sanders. And of course, Gael Zambrano, who they pinch hit for, will remain in the game. He's going to try to continue to do what he's done all game. And he's pitched well, folks. He's given up 6 runs, yes, but he's only given up 6 hits. 6 runs on 6 hits. He's pitched a good ball game. Nothing to be ashamed about. And of course, this is a very good Dripping Springs team. They were shut down in the first game, 6-1, but came back and won last night 11-0. And, well, right now they lead 6-2. And the key to this game, of course, coming into it was Coach Guajardo said they need to do a better job of hitting the ball, putting the ball in play. And, you know, PSJ High, they've had opportunities. They've hit a couple of home runs, but on the flip side, I think the Dripping Springs pitchers have 8 or 9 strikeouts to their credit. So, you know, give credit where credit is due. PSJ High, a fine hitting ball club, but they're getting matched by a good quality pitching staff. And so we'll await this final toss or two by Zambrano. Again, heading into his 6th inning of work. He's pitched 5 complete innings. There we see Z Garza throwing it over to second. And it'll be Bobby Wilkinson followed by Eli Lemur, with Dripping Springs leading 6-2, heading into the bottom of the 6th, folks. So Wilkinson, 1 for 2 in the ballgame, of course. He got the party started for Dripping Springs back in the 2nd inning with a 2-out home run. And, well, he swings at the first pitch he sees, and that is making James Cancino run all the way to the warning track in deep center field. So Wilkinson gives it a ride, but hits it to the deepest part of the park for out number 1. So a very long, loud out brings up Lemur, who is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Okay, so we're going to have a pinch hitter. Smith is going to come up to pinch hit number 4. Takes a pitch for a strike. Zambrano working quickly here. Curveball away, 1-1 to the pinch hitter. Zambrano pitches it, and that is laced into left center. So the pinch hitter is going to hit one off the left center field wall. He's going to be stopped at second base with a stand-up double. So Smith comes through when asked by his coach as a pinch hitter with 1 out and hits a shot into the left center field gap, a solid line drive, and that'll get him a stand-up double. And, well, that prompts Coach Guajardo to take the ball from Zambrano's hands. Zambrano did a good job, folks. He fought as hard as he could. And, of course, he's going to get a good round of applause from the fans out here, and it well deserved. We wouldn't be here if Gael Zambrano wouldn't have pitched a great game against Austin Westlake. Gave the PSJ High Bears an early lead. And, of course, this is the 3rd straight series that PSJ High is forced into a Game 3. They did it against Church Clemens. They were able to win. They did it against Austin Westlake. They were able to win. But right now, they trail Dripping Springs here in the Region 4 6A Division II Championship. So we're going to have a relief pitcher. It'll be Ethan Olivares coming up to pitch. And, of course, that was a scenario exactly what we saw last week. Zambrano started it. Olivares finished it up. The only difference is in that game, PG High had a big commanding 9-1 lead. And in this one, they trail 6-2. So Olivares will get his warm-up pitches in. And it'll be Kate Sanders waiting for his turn at bat. Of course, Olivares likes to mix it up. Decent velocity, but a much better curveball, much better off-speed pitcher. That's what gives him success. Keeping the hitters off stride, not overpowering at all. So Olivares continues to work. There we see 63-mile-an-hour fastball. Excuse me, curveball. And I think he's ready to go. I think he tells the umpire, okay, I think I got it. And of course, the umpire has to go over the situation. And of course, the umpire tells him, well, there's nobody out with a runner on second. And of course, Olivares fully knows his team trails 6-2. So Olivares needs to keep it at 6-2. It's going to be tough. But this young man can do it. So Olivares facing the number 9 hitter in the lineup, Kate Sanders. He's 0 for 1, got walked his first time at bat. Olivares' first pitch is bunted, and that'll move the runner over to third, and a bang play at first. So the speedy Sanders gets a sac bunt, almost beats out the wrap at first. So out number 2. 1-3 if you're scoring at home. Pitcher to the first baseman. That brings up the center fielder, Sam Branyan. Of course, Branyan 1 for 3. Bounce to the second baseman, reach on an error, and then hit a 2-out home run in the 5th. A monster shot with the right field fence. That was off Zambrano. Let's see how he fares against Olivares. First pitch is a fastball. Taken for a strike. So Olivares from the stretch with a runner on third, 2 outs. It's a curveball at 65 miles an hour, and swinging right through it is the hitter. Branyan comes up empty. No balls and 2 strikes now. So Olivares 1 pitch away from getting his team into the dugout, and with an opportunity in the 7th to make a comeback. A 62-mile-an-hour curveball just misses inside. The fans from PGA High wanted it. Coach Guajardo gets out of the dugout saying, where was that? That should have been a strike. Guajardo's heated over there right now. He's not happy. The 1-2. Well, Olivares is going to shake off the pitch. Happy with the next signal. Going to deliver to Garza. It's a curveball, bounce in the dirt. 2-2 the count now. So Olivares was ahead of the count 0-2. Now it's all even, 2-2 with 2 outs. Runner at second. Excuse me, at third now. And it's hit to the left side, and miscommunication between the shortstop and the third baseman. Smith will score from third. I don't think even though either one grabs it, anybody would have thrown out the speedy Branyan. I'm going to mark that a hit, and of course that's a big run right there. The C9 ground ball base hit off the bat of the hitter, Branyan, enables Dripping Springs now to have a 7-2 lead. So the hitter, Jake Pardue, and with the runner going, a good throw, and do they get him? Yes, they do. Zeke Garza throws out Branyan. Trying to steal bases, so Branyan gets caught stealing for out number 3, but not before a run scores on 2 hits. So after 6 complete innings of play, it is Dripping Springs 7, PSJA High 2. We'll be back for the final 7th inning.
At PSJ, heroes don't wear capes. They wear aprons, ID badges, and walkie-talkies. They show up before the sun rises and they stay long after the final bell rings. They do not fly through the skies, but they do move mountains for our students. One meal, one lesson, one ride, one smile at a time. This is more than a job. This is our mission. And together, we're a united force. So as we launch into the new year, let's rise, let's lead, let's unite. PSJA, assemble.
Here we go, folks. Heading into the top of the 7th inning, we find ourselves trailing to Dripping Springs 7-2. PSJA High, second year in a row here in the Region 4 6A Division II Championship. Second year in a row against Dripping Springs. Dripping Springs took 2 out of 3 last year. Right now, Dripping Springs is 3 outs away from doing it again. PSJA High, they're down to the final 3 outs. The good news is it's the top of the lineup. It'll be James Cancino, TJ Ayala, and then JT Reina. Is there ever a group that can stage a comeback? It is this group. First pitch swinging is Cancino high to the right fielder, and the right fielder will grab it. Anthony Delgado had to wait for it to come down. A towering fly ball to the right fielder, but Cancino is retired on the first pitch, so there's 1 out. Brings up TJ Ayala, and Ayala with a home run. He's 1 for 3 in the game, and he's played extremely well defensively. Good looking kid, very humble kid as well. Got a bright future. He's a senior. Of course, Blake Cox on the mound with the curveball. Fouled off to the right side. Will that same play for the first baseman? And it will. Bobby Wilkinson handles that chance in foul territory. So 2 pitches, 2 outs. PSJA High is now down to their final out, folks. The fans from Dripping Springs, well, they're standing up. And why wouldn't they? They have an excellent team. They're leading 7-2. JT Reina, the first baseman, comes up to bat. He's 1 for 3. He smashed a double his second time at bat. And Blake Cox trying to seal the deal here for Dripping Springs. It's up to the Bears to keep this game alive here with 2 outs. And that's a 91-mile-an-hour fastball that is hit into center field. I had to hold my breath there. The center fielder made a diving attempt on the ball, hit kind of shallow center field, right over the second baseman's head, and Sam Branyan almost made a diving catch. So Reina gets his second hit of the ball game. He's 2 for 4. He keeps the rally alive. It is now up to Jesse Garza to keep it alive once again. We're going to have a possible pinch runner. No, we won't. So we will. Well, they're thinking about it. Let's see. Coach Fajardo is saying, no, you know what? We need a lot more hits. Let's save it for later. Of course, there may not be a later unless Jesse Garza can come through. Runner on first. PSJA High looking for base runners as they trail by 5. Garza swings at the first one, fouls it straight back. Garza had a very good swing there. Jesse Garza 1 for 2 in the game with a walk. Got his hit back in the 5th inning. Can he do it again? Keep this game alive. 2-out magic here. Off-speed pitch at 71 miles an hour is taken low and away. A ball and a strike now. So the PSJA faithful hoping Jesse Garza can come through here. And he's going to hit it high and deep to left field. But the left fielder, Cade Sanders, is going to catch it near the warning track. So for the second year in a row, it is heartbreak here in Cow Allen. Dripping Springs comes back to take the series win. PSJA High won game 1 here at Cow Allen. They lost game 2 in Beeville last night. Well, today on a Saturday afternoon, it's deja vu all over again as the Dripping Springs baseball team will win their second consecutive Region 4 6A Division II championship. Of course, PSJA High had a tremendous season. District champs, 31-6A. Nothing to be ashamed about. Coach Guajardo's ball club is a fantastic team. They have a lot of youngsters coming back. They have some kids that they're going to graduate, but the tradition and the pride of PSJA will always be there. We had a fantastic season with both the baseball team and the girls softball team, and just a record-breaking season. I can't say I'm so proud of these guys. They are heartbroken right now, but they're good young men, and they'll bounce back. So on behalf of Eric and Mark, I'm Javi Martinez. Excuse me, Edgar. Eric was not here. So Edgar Hernandez, Mark Vasquez, my bad. I'm a little disappointed at the end result. So, but either case, hope you enjoyed the game. Unfortunately, not the outcome we wanted. God bless and safe travels.